Real quickly before we begin, I want to thank this video's sponsor, CarMarshal.com. CarMarshal.com can save you lots of money on buying used or new vehicles, cars, trucks, school buses. If you want to save money, I'll have a link in the description down below. I know I'm going to...
Former Sarasota County Sheriff's deputy has now found himself on the other side of the law. Today, Frank Bybee was sentenced to 15 years in state prison. This comes after he was found guilty of kidnapping.
Thankful this chapter is over.
He's out of the community. He embarrassed law enforcement. He embarrassed the sheriff's office. And he's wrecked his life. He's wrecked his life with his family.
The sheriff said this is a reminder.
Detectives, but the losers here are his children. And that's what's really sad about this.
His 3 boys will spend the next 15 years without their father.
He's not going to get a chance to see them become young men, and that's devastating.
Bybee's defense team plans to file an appeal. Josh?
All right, John Rogers live in Sarasota for us. Thanks, John.
Deputy linked to Bybee may avoid charges. Accused of tampering with evidence, Carson Plank is offered pretrial diversion program. By Carlos R. Munoz. Carlos.Munoz@HeraldTribune.com. Sarasota. A former Sarasota County Sheriff's Office deputy charged with tampering with evidence and giving false information program. Carson Lee Plank, 23, was the subject of an internal affairs investigation that concluded that she be terminated. The charges against her arose from her involvement with former Sheriff's Deputy Frank Bybee, who was fired after being charged with attempted murder and 19 other felonies. We wish to thank our partners at the State Attorney's Office for resolving this case through the pretrial intervention process, and we are pleased that Ms. Plank is taking responsibility for her actions, Sarasota County Sheriff Tom Knight said in a statement emailed to the See Charges, A5. Plank, to her supervisors during the Frank Bybee investigation, will not face charges if she completes a 12-month pretrial diversion. Continued from charges on page A1. Charges. From page A1. Herald Tribune. In October, a jury found Bybee, 46, guilty of kidnapping, exploitation of the elderly, 3 counts of computer fraud and 8 counts of fraudulent use of personal information. He faced life in prison but was sentenced to 15 years in prison. The jury did not find Frank Bybee guilty of attempted murder. Plank was identified as one of the first deputies to respond to the 80-year-old female victim's home. The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office said that Plank told detectives she did not see anything out of the ordinary at the victim's home. But Plank interviewed the victim, who gave her a detailed account of how Bybee tried to kill her. However, she did not report the victim's statements, injuries, or evidence, including a hair with blood that she photographed. Plank concluded no crime occurred, according to the sheriff's office. Later that morning, detectives went back to the victim's home and learned about the alleged murder attempt and evidence. Plank admitted that the victim told her Bybee tried to kill her and that she had injuries. Detectives discovered cell phone records that revealed Plank was not truthful during her interview. After the victim reportedly called 911, Plank sent a text to Bybee. Frankie, she said you tried to kill her, said you broke in and beat her and tried to suffocate her and shoved pills down her throat and ripped her oxygen tubs off her face. Bybee responded, well, they'll run with it? No, we squashed it, Plank replied. Plank said she searched the home for evidence and found drops of blood, but did not report it, the sheriff's office said. She informed Bybee. I got you, she told him. Plank was charged 3 months after the incident with evidence tampering. The pretrial diversion program requires Plank to file a once-a-month report of 10 conditions. She may not leave Sarasota County without consent from her probation officer, she cannot possess firearms, she cannot violate the law or engage with a criminal, or use intoxicants or drugs or visit places with them. Plank must have a job and submit and pay for breathalyzer and blood tests for use of alcohol or drugs. The agreement says she must participate in 50 hours of public service. If Plank successfully completes the program, her charges will be dismissed, according to the agreement. Failure to abide by the conditions could result in prosecution.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I just wanted you to know that I am using this stuff under fair use. And also remember to like and subscribe this channel. Also too, keep in mind I do not make any money on YouTube. This is 5 hours work a day, you know, fighting for freedom. And you can donate with PayPal and Patreon. I just want you to think about this. If everybody gives to PayPal and Patreon, Patreon is every month. Actually, PayPal you can do every month. I have 12,000 subscribers. If everybody gives, I can quit my regular job and go full-time investigations on Charlotte County and possibly even more and beyond. So just keep that in mind. If everybody helps out, I can go full-time doing this. Thanks.